Hello, mates. We're in San Diego, and I'm Mexican, so Latino. Yeah, so we are going through some books here. We're calling this show. What are we calling it? Let's see. We've barely figured out names for this, so we are either calling it. You let me know. You let me know. And if there's one person here, oh well, there's one person. It's either going to be the Vintage Vault Hunters or the Rare Book Rangers. Or there was one more. Which one did you want? Profit between pages. So it's either Profit between pages, the Book Rangers, or the Vintage Bolt Hunters. It's one of the three. So just a little about me. I am a 32-year-old bookseller, e-commerce seller that sells on Amazon, eBay, Libris, and all that good stuff. I've been doing it for 8 years now, and so right now, in this episode, we're gonna show you guys what books we keep, and we try to keep off landfills. We're trying to save books. Most of these books will end up, or would have probably ended up in a landfill or a recycling center, but not this time. Welcome, live chat. Remember your guard. Yeah, we're okay. Okay, so these books would have ended up in the recycling center. By the way, this is me. And so we go through like 8,000 pounds of books, a little bit less. Let's say 6,000 pounds of books every day, and these books are just separated in the process, and we save them. Okay. So first up, and I did this just fell, and it was the one they put here on. First one is One Nation, and this is an Easton Press book. So I think this will do good. It's actually in really good condition. Besides, I think I could just clean that off. But it's in really good condition. It's Easton Press, and so these kinds of all Easton Press books I save. Most of them have. I don't know what I just forgot what these is called. These gold edges, but stuff like that. This I would save. And I know this is my trash pile. I don't think this will be interesting for people to. The Book of Popular Science, #2. It's a set, actually. I think this one would have been good to save. The Tale of Genji, just because of the, I think, Japanese author. I really don't know a lot about books, but I know. I think I have a feeling of what looks good and what doesn't look good. And so I would have kept this one. And the reason why I would have kept this one, it's just because of the author, because of the name, but I didn't keep it just because it does have some water damage. But stuff like, obviously, Easton Press is I must keep. And I think this book, One Nation, September 11th, actually, this just passed a few days ago, the Remembrance. It does have that, just a little bit of damage right there. I think that's just coloring that I can take off, or some type of gum, or yeah, correct. Or a book just slid through it and it left the red marking there, but it's in really, really good condition. I think you could sell this for like $25-$30. And so these are the books that I try to keep. And so we go through 6,000 pounds of books every single day. These are just the books that don't have ISBN, and I just have to check. And then we're going to sell them on eBay, and when the people when my crew gets to it, and list them on eBay. But so another Traducción del Nuevo Mundo de las Santas Escrituras. I do save most of the Spanish Bibles. I don't think this will do that good. I think this is like a $10-$12 book, but I'm gonna keep it just in case just because it's in Spanish. Usted puede vivir para siempre en el paraíso de la tierra. Also another religious book in Spanish. I'm gonna keep it just because in Spanish and it is religious. Religion. I do sell a whole bunch of Bibles. I just think Spanish Bibles do better just because they're so scarce here in the United States. This is a religious book, not a Bible, but it's in Spanish, so I think it'll do good. This one, beloved infidel, the education of a woman. Okay, so the topics are interesting. So, infidel is a really cool topic. It is the first edition, so I'm gonna keep it just in case. I don't think it's worth it, but I'm just gonna keep it because I don't know the value of the books, but I think it's a nice topic. It's a first edition. And it does have some wear and tear, but hey, if it's worth $20, $20, right? Soviet space dogs. Let's see. It does not have an ISBN, so that's one reason why I would keep it. It doesn't have an ISBN on the book. Soviet space dogs. Hey, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it just because I don't know a lot about it. I did save a whole bunch of these books, Irving. I did save, so it's probably a set. I'm obviously gonna keep it just to fill the set up. This one's in back condition. Obviously, Alice in Wonderland is a classic. It does have an ISBN, but it's pretty bad shape. So I should keep it. Why not? Okay. A little piece of paper there. It does have an ISBN, so this one goes to the ISBN pile, which is right over there. Hopefully, there's a whole bunch of books blocking my eyesight. So this one has Mylar protection. So someone will try to take care of it. The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant. I'm going to save it just because someone took care of it. So someone thinks it's worth protecting it. And I'm gonna keep it so I can save it. The couch, the kitchen. I'm not going to save that one. Doesn't look interesting. That one doesn't look interesting as well. The Quran, obviously. I'm going to save this one just because it's a very specific book, a Muslim religious book, the Quran. So I'm going to save that. Islam. Eclipse, obviously no good without the dust jacket. It's not a good book to read. So all these books I'm going to be throwing away. They're going to go to the recycling center, but I am going to keep these here and just save them, see if they're worth selling on eBay. Okay. I'm not going to save that. Insects, it does look like an older book. There's newer books. La Biblia. Again, a religious Spanish book I'm going to save. The Diamond Dictionary, okay. Diamond Dictionary looks interesting. It does not have an ISBN, so I'm going to save it just in case. Second edition, I'm going to save it for us to check later on. The Outline of History, it does look like a set, but I'm not going to save it. This one, Ray Bentley, this one's signed, yep. This one's signed, Ray Bentley signed, yep. So I'm going to save anything that is signed. It does have an ISBN, but it's signed. So I could either throw it to the ISBN and check if it's worth selling on Amazon, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save it, and it does have a barcode in the back so I could check. But it does have a signature, and signatures make books usually a little bit more profitable. Touching the Human Significance of the Skin. Okay, that looks interesting. Show you guys right there. That's a better spot. Okay, it does have an ISBN right there, so it's going to go to the ISBN pile. A cookbook. Most cookbooks like these don't have ISBNs, but I'm going to save it. Obviously, a must save are yearbooks. This one does have some block damage. Just right there, you can see the indenting. But someone graduated in 1953 or went to the school in 1953, and so I don't know if they're still alive, but I know their sons or daughters are still alive, their granddaughters, and they want to see their grandpa when he was in high school, right? So I'm going to save this book. Oh, I save all yearbooks. I'll try to a little bit better, right? A little bit better. So I try to save most of the yearbooks. Someone is trying to look for that yearbook. This one is a set of something I'm not going to save. Exploring Modern Mathematics, probably from the 50s. It's a little outdated, not specific enough. The History of Psychiatry. I always save psychiatry books, and this one's the first edition, so I'm going to just save it. Someone in that field might want a book. Taste and See. I'm going to save all cookbooks. Homogram Interpretation for Dogs and Cats. Okay. Now this one's a hard one. It's probably college book. Okay, it's not that hard. It has an ISBN, so because it does have an ISBN, I'm going to save it. To the ISBN pile it goes. There you go. X-libraries, I try not to save any X-libraries. There's a whole bunch of people that make good money. I just try. They're so beat up. This one's not beat up, but most library books are beat up. I'm not going to save this one because it doesn't look interesting, and it's an X-library book. So, Practitioner's Guide to Veterinary Dentistry. Most of these books do have an ISBN, and this one does right there. So it does go to the ISBN pile. Okay, make it yourself. Again, library books, not worth it for me. So I do throw these away. Okay, let's throw these away. All those books are going to a recycling center. Most likely are going to be turned into toilet paper. The ones that you buy or people buy in the 99-cent store or the general dollar store. Just low grade paper. Okay. The Tabernacle, again, it does not have an ISBN. So that's another point why I'm going to save it. It is a Hebrew book, as you guys can tell right there. And so I'm going to save that book just in case it's worth something. Clinical diagnosis. Let's see. So we do this probably 2-3 times a week. I'm not going to save that one. I think this book is a little too outdated. Sorry, that's our stick. Chemistry, again, a little too outdated. Military yearbooks always do good, always. So this is a Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. Show you inside these books. It shows you the training centers, and it is like a yearbook. It just show you pictures of military that were active back then, or reserve, right? So someone's father, someone's grandmother, someone's granddaughter, not granddaughter, someone's grandparents were in the military back in San Diego. It does look like the 80s, so 80s, 90s. So I'm going to save military yearbooks. Military yearbooks always do well. Interior decoration. Mylar wrapping, that makes it seem that someone tried to take care of it. So I'm just going to save it. I know this book is probably not worth anything, but I'm going to save it. A little too outdated. Stuff like this I don't save. The Master Prints, 1895 to 1914. It does have an ISBN, so it does go to the ISBN pile. Another yearbook, 1954. I do save yearbooks, remember? So we're going to keep that one. Mayo Clinic Complete Books, no good. Stuff that I can't, so because I'm Latino, and I was born here in the United States, but English is my second language just because at home we did speak a lot of Spanish. I think this book is in Latin, and so any languages besides English I think are interesting, and this one's particularly in Latin, so it does have beautiful artwork inside, so I'm going to keep that one. Okay, so we're going to keep this Latin book just because the texture of it looks interesting, just like a very hard cardboard. The pages look old. It is in Latin. Beautiful artwork. And the reason why we save these books at the beginning, why they end up with me, are because they don't have ISBNs. We have a conveyor belt, and so the books go through there that have ISBNs. These books don't have ISBNs, so the crew don't know if it's worth it or not, and that's why I'm looking at them. So this is Body and Soul by Jane Korotkin. I think it's an art book or photography book. And it does have an ISBN, but it starts with 1. So because it starts with 1, and it is an art book, I'm going to keep it just in case it is worth selling on Amazon or on eBay. Israel, Frederick Brenner and A.B. Okay. This book does have an ISBN, and I'm just looking inside. Look, another photography book of Israel. Look at those pictures. Right? So I'm gonna keep this book and throw it to the ISBN. The reason why I was checking inside, a lot of art books are signed. So just looking to see if any or both of these authors signed this book. So I'm gonna keep this one. It's actually going to the ISBN pile. So to the ISBN pile it goes. And these are going to become toilet paper. If you guys have any questions of what I do, it's my first time doing a live, so really don't know how to use it. These are Lego pamphlets, how to build the Legos, and there's a whole bunch of them. So if there was only one, I would not have saved it, but because there's a lot, I think I could sell them a lot, and so that's why I'm saving it. When the Jewish people was young. There we go. Because it is based out of Jewish people, I'm going to save it. International trademark, 1995, 1996, a little too outdated, and so I don't think that is worth it. And that goes directly to the trash, just because, not to the recycling, but to the trash, just because there's plastic, and so we want to do our part and recycle only paper. Right, the Great Ages of World Architecture, Roman Architecture. Does it have an ISBN? No ISBN. Second printing. It is a little damaged. I would not have saved it because it's based on something specific, Roman architecture. I'm going to save it. Master painters of the Renaissance. This one has an ISBN, so that's just a little booklet that was inside the book. Master painters of the Renaissance. I am not going to save this one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to save it. Sometimes you want to save books, sometimes you don't want to save books. So all these books are good to save. Let's see, let's keep going. And like I told you, I run to 6,000 pounds of books, so I see books every day, all day. Complete Poems of Robert Frost, 1949. To look at the spine, I'm trying to give value to people that buy books, and so I don't think a lot of people want books with broken spine. So that goes straight to the recycling center. Great books. If I had the whole set, I'd probably go for $900 because I have one. It's not worth selling. I'm okay. You're okay. I don't think this is pretty good, so I'm gonna again recycle it. The Bathroom Trivia. This one should have an ISBN. No ISBN. Again, a little too outdated. I don't think it's interesting enough to save. This one does have an ISBN. Okay, cool. To the ISBN pile it goes. Webster's Dictionary, too outdated. Again, another great book. No good. Look at this. We did throw away one, but this one is not water damaged, and it's a Japanese author, so I'm going to save this one. I think there is, oh no, it does have some underlining. So because of that, if it does sell, it's going to sell as an acceptable condition. It does have an ISBN, so it goes to the ISBN pile. But it is in acceptable condition just because there's writing inside. Simple blending, no good. Drawing the figure from top to toe. Beautiful artwork. First edition, so that makes me save it because it's art. I'm going to save it because it does show body, although body parts. I am going to say it. People are crazy out there. They're looking for really interesting books, detailed books, and this is as detailed as it gets. So it doesn't have an ISBN. That's the reason why I'm checking it. It's first edition, which tells me I should save it, and a beautiful artwork. So I'm going to save drawing the figure from top to bottom. Again, let's throw away the books that are going to the recycling. Survey of the Law of Prophecy. Usually these books have ISBNs. And this one doesn't. I know, I think this is not worth it, but I'm going to save it. The Victorian Shakespeare. There's Mylar protection. So let me see. Someone say, "What's up, Addie?" Addie, I do know you, yeah, from Instagram. So you said, you've scanned all barcodes and you set aside decide what to put on. Yeah, correct. So we scanned all the barcodes. All the barcodes are already scanned. There's no barcode books in these Gaylords, and so these are set aside for me. And so now I check what looks interesting, what looks good to sell on eBay. And so I choose the ones that I think are interesting. There's a lot of books here that are not worth $5, $6. So those all go to the recycling center. And then the books that I do choose that look interesting, like this one, the Victorian Shakespeare. It does have some water damage. So I'm a little hesitant of even putting that on eBay, but because it's Shakespeare, it's copyright of 1908. It does look pretty old. The pages are nice. I am gonna keep it, and so when that happens, all these books get saved in plastic Gaylords, and then they get sent to another location, another warehouse that I have, and so I have crew there that have. That just the only thing that they do is list on eBay. List. And so that's what they do. I take them books that I think are interesting. Then they check them. Then they decide, hey, I'm going to list them on eBay, or hey, they're going to go to the recycling center. They have the final choice, the final decision. I just give them books that I think look interesting. Simon and Scripture International Dictionary. This is an English and Spanish dictionary because it is an English and Spanish dictionary. It is a first printing. I am going to save it. It is pretty old, so I'm going to save this one just because it's English and Spanish. Welcome to the world of Malibu, and I do this pretty quick. The reason why I'm taking a little bit is just because I'm here on YouTube Live. So chemistry and general science. Booklet, not worth selling. There's a whole bunch of stuff that come in Gaylords, and this is a corkscrew for a wine bottle. It is brand new. So is it worth selling on eBay? I don't know. I don't think so. It's probably worth $15, $10. So I'm going to save this, and this is going to go to our random pile. And on our random piles, we save notebooks, we save stuff that we think we could sell like at a swap meet or something. So here we go. The Harvard Classics, Homer. Just one book won't do it. This is an international college rivalry. We don't deal with those. The Prisoner of Senda. Well, yes, you can lock them up. what you're gonna get 18 bucks plus shipping. I'm really looking for just specific books here. Action Sports Retailer, the show issue 1996, because people are crazy and they're looking for these types of books with these types of pictures. I'm gonna save it. Is it worth it? I don't know. They're gonna check out the other warehouse. What life was like. Here we go, Addie. What's your eBay minimum for eBay? So our minimum here at the warehouse, because we do list very, very few, on eBay, just as we don't have time, just because we're going through thousands of books and most of them are ISBN. Our minimum here, I think, is 18 or 20 bucks. Our average sales price on eBay right now is, and it's been like this for a whole year, it's not just because of college season, so we do sell college books. Our average usually is around 26, 27 bucks, our ASP. And the minimum in the other warehouse is 12 bucks. And the reason why it's 12 bucks is because my other warehouse is in Mexico. And so labor down there is cheap. And so my minimum, just because labor is cheap, okay? And that's the only reason why my minimum is 12 bucks over there. And still, and we share the same eBay account, and still my average sales price is 26 bucks, I think, 24, 26. So yeah, average sales price for this warehouse on eBay books is like 18, 20 bucks. Average list price over there on TJ is around 12 bucks, nothing less. And our average ASP for both warehouses is around 26, 24 bucks. So again, let's get to it. So the person that's helping me out, he found a whole bunch of these books, same color, same everything. So these 3 here, and there's probably 5, 6 more over here. So I could sell these in a lot, right? So that's cool. Although they're not Eastern Press, they're not Franklin Library, they're International College Library. International Collectors Library, sorry. And because there's a lot, I am going to save them. Give me 1 second, I'm going to talk to my employee in Spanish. ¿Te puedes llevar esto, por favor, Jose? Okay, let's keep going. What life was like at the dawn of democracy. Sorry, guys, I'm going to move you guys just a little bit. There we go. What life was like in the dawn of democracy, classic Athens, because it does have a date from a certain point to a certain point. That makes me think that I should save it. But it does have an ISBN, so it goes directly to an ISBN pile. If it had an ISBN and a signature, it would have gone to an eBay. And that's just us. But because it does have an ISBN, it just goes directly to the ISBN pile. There we go. Again, this is a most likely Barnes & Noble edition. Yep, Barnes & Noble, all Barnes & Noble have an ISBN. It does look like an Eastern Press. It does look like a Franklin Library, but it's a Barnes & Noble, little lower grade. It does have an ISBN, so it goes directly to the ISBN pile. E7. Okay. This is this is another language. It's a beautiful book. It's a leather-bound book. And because it's a leather-bound book, it does have the edges like this. And because it's in another language, I'm going to save it, just in case it's worth anything. Sunset pictorial, usually no good, so I'm not going to save it. This book is in another language, I believe, but it is an art book. It looks like almost like an auction house book. I am not going to, I don't know, just because there might be something, a Picasso in there. I'm just going to save it. They'll let me know. And I have a whole bunch of them. So there's 4 of them, so I'm going to save them just to sell them as a lot. Give me 1 second. Just in case they're good. If they're not good, well, they're not good. And my people in Mexico, they'll determine that and throw them away. Still pretty, yeah. Nice. That's pretty much what we do. However, we research as we sort. It makes me think about changing that. Oh, yeah, you could do that. The only reason why I don't do that is because we're focused on one thing. When they're going through books, we're focused on ISBN books. We're focused on going through books as quickly as possible. And so imagine if I was scanning ISBN books and then I had to take time because we're running not today, but you see right there we're running a conveyor belt. And so if there's no books in the conveyor belt, we're not making money, right? And this conveyor is running. And so imagine if we stopped and checked every single book that didn't have an ISBN on eBay. There would be 2 books going through that conveyor belt every 3 minutes. So no, that's why we separate things out. We separate everything out. We separate conditioning out. So we don't condition while we're listing the book, right? We don't do that. We're either filtering the Gaylord here on the conveyor belt. We're either after that we're only conditioning. After that, we are only listing. So imagine if you were listing, because people do this, and it's okay if it works for them, but it didn't work for us back in the day. Imagine if you're listing books on MF or you're listing books to send to FBA, and you're conditioning at the same time. So you're conditioning, and then you're scanning, and then you're conditioning again another book, and then you're scanning. So that's why I think separating things out, separating tasks out, it's much better. No, we're conditioning every single book. We're done, and after we're done, we list the books, and we're listing books without stopping, just because we already know that the books that we're listing have already been conditioned. That's my take. Am I wrong? Possibly. Am I right? Who knows? Okay, so again, the Sunset Pictorial, no good. The Winchester book, because I did open it up and see that it was about rifles here in America, guns here in America, weapons in America, or anywhere in the world are always interesting. So I'm going to save these books just because of that. But the other reason why I'm going to save these books is because it does have a signature and it says George M. Right? So we look at the author, George Mattis. George, does it match? Mattis? There you go. There's a signature right there. And so I'm going to save this book just because there's a signature. Someone actually valued it at $40 back then. So is it worth a little bit more? Maybe. Is it worth a little bit less? Maybe. But it's a gun book and it's a signed book. I'm going to keep it just in case. Okay. On the end, Your Wings. It's probably a kid's book. Spine Damage. I'm not going to save it. Another one of those auction house books. No good. It goes right there. Psychology and Life. Outdated. And these already said that were pretty good, I think. No, actually, they're not. So I'm going to save that one. The Roman Architecture. 1001 Logical Laws. Accurate. Okay. ISBN pile. It doesn't look interesting. This is another Bible in a different language. I'm going to save it. Molecular Structure Model Kit. It's brand new. So could I get $15 for it? Most likely. There's an ISBN. It probably doesn't match. This is not a book. So there's probably a book that's attached to it. But a science teacher, a student that's trying to learn science, or a student that's in a university would like something like this for what, $10, $15, $12 if it's sent to eBay. They just list it for $12 and forget it. Is it worth more? Who knows? Is it worth less? Who knows? Okay. These books are the same. New World Translation of the Holy Scripture, Traducción del Nuevo Mundo de las Santas Escrituras. I am not going to save this one, just because it's very common. It's everywhere. It's worth 10, maybe $11. I don't know. This one's probably worth more than this one just because it's in Spanish. So I'm going to save this one. I'm going to recycle this one. Blood, okay. That one's also doesn't look interesting, so I'm going to throw it away. Another book that's about rifles, I believe. No, it's not. It's about Winchester, the gun that won the West. Looks interesting. Still in pretty good condition for the age. So I'm going to save this one just because of the title, and it does involve guns. So I'm going to save that one. Another of the International Collectors Library in the same color. I'm going to save it just to lock them up. So all these books are saved. Look at this. This is another Winchester, right? But this one doesn't have the cover. Okay. That's going to make it less valuable than the other one, but still valuable just because of the what is written here. So because of what is written, and because I already know that this Winchester has a cover, and I saved it just because of the content, I'm going to save this one as well. This one's going to go for less. This one's going to go for a little bit more. If it's worth it, right? I get honestly, I get really, really good books. Another, the muzzle loading cap lock rifle. Another rifle book. Yep. I think these are interesting. I think these will sell good on eBay. Computer science curriculum guide, and obviously an outdated book. No good. Heritage. This is a Action House. No good. The Art of the Watch. I just saved before I started this live. I just saved a Rolex book, so I think that'll do good. The Art of the Watch does have an ISBN in the front, so I'm going to save it, and we'll go to the ISBN pile. And these books are... It's someone else. See what these are. The Family Heritage book. This certificate that Byron Webster, residing at Volcay, is the owner of Webster Family Heritage book. Okay, so this is a heritage book for the last name Webster, and so because it's very specific, I'm hoping that someone in the family and someone in the world that has the last name Webster is going to look at this book and be like, oh my god, let me see my family heritage, and let me see what the Webster name went through back in the day. So that's the reason I'm going to save this book. Another, the M14 Owner's Guide. Another rifle book, very interesting. Does have an ISBN, but it starts with 1. And because it starts with 1, I'm guessing it'll read in the database. But because it starts with 1, and it doesn't start with a 2 or a 9, I'm going to save it for eBay. If it started with a 2 or a 9, I would have saved it and looked it up on Amazon. But because it starts with a 1, and it is a rifle book, Owner's Guide, I'm going to save it for eBay. This book had a cover, just a random book, no good. Osborne. These books really do very well. They don't have it does have an ISBN, but these books do really well for our kids book sale. Very interactual books, right? So we're gonna save that one for our kids books, and we're gonna save it right there. The Pennsylvania Kentucky rifle, another rifle. It does someone had Mylar on it, so someone thought it was pretty good. And because it's rifle and because it's Mylar, I'm gonna save it so people can check. No good. Tippy Tales of the American Indian. It is a first edition. When it's first edition, it's $30. Someone thought it was worth it, and I'm gonna save it just because someone thought it was worth it, right? It does have an ISBN, but I think it did have a cover. But because it doesn't have a cover, I'm gonna save it for eBay, just so I can take pictures and actually show people how it really looks like. So what do you guys think? Does this look interesting? Or no? Or is it boring? Dictionary of real estate terms outdated. Holy scripture, too many of. Merriwear, someone had $8 on it. It does have some spine damage. Obviously it doesn't have an ISBN from its 1908. So I think it's worth it to save and for someone to look at it. Just because it doesn't have an ISBN. It's pretty old, 1908. Nice colored graphics. You don't see that color graphics that often in the older books. And so we're going to save it just in case it is worth something. Another older book, 1925. I'm going to save it. It doesn't have an ISBN. So I don't think anyone here knows what a book is worth, right? I can't look at this book just right on top and say, hey, this is worth $30. I can't. But does it look interesting? It does to me. The name, Sherlock. Is it a French book? Is it based on a French book? I know it's English, but because I can't really read that. Sherlock. I'm gonna save it. It does look old. Is it worth $15? Maybe. Is it worth $5? Maybe. But I don't know. So I'm gonna have my people check it. This one, I know it's not worth anything. This one, I know it's not worth anything. This one is not. I know it's not worth anything. So I'm not gonna save them. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go 10 more minutes on here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Thank you for the 2 likes and the 4 people that are still here. You guys can check with all the books that I go through. It's pretty fun. Before I end the live, I'm going to show you the books that I saved, that I've been saving, and a little bit about my warehouse, so you guys can take a little tour on here and see what I have. Holy Bible, a nice bigger Bible. I do sell quite a bit of Bibles, and I do sell quite a bit of bigger Bibles. So this is probably a $20 to $30 Bible. So I'm going to save that one. It's a little bit heavier on the heavier side, but I'm still going to save it. And you know, because I'm not in the sorting machine, so I don't know what's in these Gaylords. I have no idea. So I found the best find that I've ever found and sold was a Moby Dick limited edition Lakeside Press set of 3, limited edition of only like 1,000, I believe. And so I sold that for $7,500 back a year ago, I think. And so that's my best find ever. $7,500 for a Moby Dick. I know that's a very popular book, but it was a set. It's limited edition Lakeside Press, and I sold it to someone in like Beverly Hills. And so that was our biggest find. So what, am I gonna find another Moby Dick limited edition Lakeside Press? Most likely not. There's only 1,000 in the world. But am I gonna find something on here that I have no clue? I have no clue what's in here. Am I gonna find something really good? Maybe. And so that's where we're here. We're here for the hunt. America Under Attack. It just looked like 9/11. So I'm just gonna save it just in case. Another Grief Search for Justice. Sorry. Whoever said thank you, bless you, thank you. Grief Search for Justice Follow Deadly Attack, September 12th and September 12th. Just newspaper for a day that will live in infamy, right? Another newspaper, September 12th, terrorist attack, New York, Pentagon. So I'm gonna save those books just in case. Just random stuff that people save for me. I'm not gonna save that. Recycle. These are like older comics, always do well. These are just like older. What year is this from? August 16th. This year was mailed August 16th, which made it handling second class. Who knows? I don't see the year, but it's actually here. It should be here. let me see, 1994. So, newspaper from 1984, and they're still in pretty good condition. I think someone is gonna want them. This is 1997 Los Angeles Times. Princess Diana, friend killed in Paris car crash. That'll probably do really well. The Moody Blues, a question of balance. Okay, so a little bit of art, music books. I was actually a music major, and we had majors in high school. My school was a art school, and so I was in the instrumental music department. And I played euphonium for 7 years, and so people were always looking for these types of books. Especially, this is a little bit easier of a music book, just a little bit easier. But those books that you see a whole bunch of these stick together, they're called 16 notes, or they're called 18 notes. 16 note or 30-second notes, right? And they're like really stick together, and they're all over the place. Those are a little harder to play, and they're most likely for piano or an arrangement of piano with bassoon, or piano with flute, or piano with clarinet. Those tend to do really well. Michael Jackson music books, any popular band music books do really well. I'm gonna save this one just because the Moody Blues is a question of balance. The artwork, it is a music book, and it's not that easy. Like Mary Had a Little bum 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 bum. It's a little harder than that. So I'm gonna save that book. Let's see. Again, International College Collectors Library, same color. I'll just save them too, so they could just lock them up. Malibu Graphics Publishing Group, 1982-1993, merchandising publishing rights. Someone's gonna want this, some comic nerd, right? So I'm gonna save it just in case it's worth anything. Let's look at something interesting. Let's go. Well, let me tell my employee that these are good. Let's go to the warehouse and show you guys a little bit. Why not? Oh, you guys are here. You guys are gonna take the sneak peek. I'm about to log out, but let me show you guys just a little bit. There's 5 of you guys here. What do you guys think of the live? So, all these books that I do save, they end up most likely in these plastic bins, and those get sent to Mexico. And so, you don't know. There's books, hundreds of books here that, or there's 100 books here that are probably worth more than $100. A lot of these books that are in here, and they fit around 1,000, are worth $30 to $50. And so I just think about it like a piggy bank. I know there's Eastern Press here now. There's limited editions. I know there's a whole bunch of good stuff here. So it's the piggy bank. And this is so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And these are more books that I just saved, right? And this is a warehouse. One thing about me, and I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong, is that a lot of people have a whole bunch of Gaylords of books. And they're like, oh my God, I'm getting another truckload in the next few days, and I still have that many. I just tell myself and my partner and my employees, we're not a warehouse. We are a warehouse, but we're not a storage warehouse. We don't store books here. We have to go through them as quickly as possible. So, do I want to see 80 Gaylords in this space? No. I want to see, right now I have 6. These are empty. All these here and these here are empty. But I want to see 2 Gaylords in here. I want to see 3 Gaylords in here. That makes me know that, hey, we've been putting in the work. My employees have been scanning a whole bunch. We have two forklifts, but I want to see 2, 3 Gaylords in here. I don't want to see 20. I don't want to see 30. At one point, I had 160 Gaylords just stacked there, and we were getting more and more. And I was like, no, that like something's wrong here. Why am I storing Gaylords? They're stored. They've been here for 2 weeks, and we haven't gone through them. Why? What's wrong? So now right now we have 6 Gaylords. We'll do this probably later today and finish them off tomorrow. Just because we're going through the Iceman BN books, if not, we would have finished them today. And then tomorrow in the morning I'll have 0, and then tomorrow in the afternoon I'll get another 30, right? And so I want to see those 30 gone by the next 3 or 4 days, and then I'll get another 30. I don't want to be a storage. So that's my thinking. Right now we're shipping out. We sold like 200. We sold like 200 books during the weekend, 250 books during the weekend. So they are shipping those out. Those are we have 4 stations, shipping station and listing stations. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's my station right in the corner. Obviously the American flag. And this is our MF section. This is our MF section. Here in the United States, we save very little and list very little books. And these are mostly all of our eBay books. You're going to see here a whole bunch of books that I've saved that are worth selling on eBay. Obviously, everyone knows about yearbooks, but that we only have one line of them. All of these books, this shelf and the shelf that you see in the back, are just the MF books that we've listed here to sell on eBay, sell Libris, Amazon, eBay, Ave books. And so that's our only dedicated spot for books that we list on eBay, which is very little, just because we have another warehouse in Mexico that lists all that stuff. And then we have dedicated 1, 2, 3, 4 rows for our MF inventory. And that is our warehouse. Hopefully you enjoyed the trip. Hopefully you enjoyed what we go through every single day. It's fun. We go through this. There's still 3 more Gaylords to go that I have to sort through to get eBay books. But 3 more Gaylords and the Gaylord that's on top in that dumper. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll try to do this more often. That's what I say all the time. But we'll see. Thank you guys, and hopefully you have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Adios. How'd you take it off?
Y este es para donde